Gakatinu chat duasak, yech ayachat, luknahari nahatsati, wushkitanyari ayachat. My Tlingit name is Gachitin, and my English name is Elena Peterson. The idea of Resilient Circles was sort of born out of this concept of indigenizing our entrepreneurship services, and it's a program that works on supporting the whole entrepreneur. And so it's looking at how do we grow spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally, and grow our businesses all at the same time. And as a small business owner myself, that's really been what my journey's been. I used to say in my earlier years of coaching, I would tell people like entrepreneurship is the best way to learn about where your weaknesses are.
Chris, my now business partner, started a little construction company and it was just taking off. We kind of grew up, everyone, fixing your own stuff, building houses, sheds in Yakutat. So it was kind of familiar. Now we're getting into residential construction, some of the modular designs. We're trying to build as much as we can, like in Southeast, and see what we can do for the villages.
One of the main reasons that I joined Resilient Circles is we had gone through a program with Ashley. I believe it was a Path to Prosperity, a 2-day program, and we really saw the value in some of this coaching, the one-on-one coaching specifically. And we were drawing different information and value from the programming. Derek's very much by the numbers and can analyze data very well. And I'm more in the day-to-day operations, so it was a really good conglomerate of things that drew us to wanting to sign up for this program.
We can't just provide business training and sort of ignore these other areas where people are having hardship or struggles, and because we see it bleeding into their business, we see it impacting their whole world and lives. And as Indigenous people, we know that we are all having to unpack the historical trauma from generations before us that impact our day-to-day lives now. And so started talking to people about this idea of like, what could be an Indigenous business training? How can we indigenize how we provide business training services? And that's always such a fun and interesting idea, but like how to put that into action.
So Yarrow's plant teaching is boundaries. Kaseyu chat duasak, wishkita nachatsati, tushit ayachat, dakdain tanyari. My family is from the Berners Bay or Dachanak area, Akakwan away Yuhan. My Tlingit name is Kase, after my grandmother, and I'm Wishkitan from the Shark House. And we're out exploring and learning about our environment and our connection to this land and to each other. And so today the participants are gathering certain plants, they're locating them, and they're going to be answering some questions about each of the plants together in teams, and then we'll come back together and kind of have a debriefing and think, pair, share. Plants are our relatives and our teachers. A lot of us didn't really grow up feeling connected, and so a lot of our stories talk about how we came from the plants and that plants are our ancestors, and just being outside here and having the fresh air and connecting to the plants and smelling like the mint and touching and discovering together is really amazing, and it's also very healing.
A really important element of the Resilient Circle was incorporating all the Tlingit culture, and that brought about way more healing than I thought that I even needed. It was something that's just like deep in my core. So I think remembering like culture and remembering how that really brings us together as a community. And so being able to tap into that is pretty powerful.
Our words can be either medicine or it can be like an arrow coming at another person. When we choose to lead with respect and love, we can go further in whatever we do. When we look at other individuals, we don't want to ever judge them before we actually get to know them, because we don't know what their strengths are and what they can bring.
I was kind of making my own path, and like I was saying, just sort of tunnel vision, like, nope, this is the way it's done. And this experience helped me just realize that there's other ways to get to Grandma's house, and You know, you don't need to be like type A personality all the time. You could kind of lean into these other feelings and try to be more understanding and more empathetic toward other people. I feel like for my business too, what's really been helpful is the native cultural aspect, especially with the new coffee shop. Like I want to incorporate more of like the Tlingit words. Like on the actual building, I'm going to put Kakwe Hit for coffee house.
I think the work that Resilience Circles is doing to integrate intergenerational healing is really critical for Indigenous entrepreneurs and business owners. Intergenerational trauma, as well as the lateral violence that comes with it, is part of the barrier that keeps a lot of Indigenous businesses and entrepreneurs, I think, from really succeeding.
Some things you just avoid, but it really brought it to the forefront where you could feel that I do have generational trauma, and being able to talk about it with others is a way to let it go. I mean, we might never be able to get rid of it, but at least we are aware of it. It's sad that there's a lot of people out there that have that, but it's nice to know that I'm not alone.
Down. Boom. Exhale up. 2. Inhale back down. And 3. And down. Inhale. Good. And inhale back down. 5. Good. Andelawen, Christopher Duwayu, Simshianu, Ganhada Dintihu, Metlakatla Dewatku. My name is Chris. I'm Simshian from Metlakatla. I'm of the Raven Clan, and I am the health and fitness practitioner for Spruce Root. I myself am an Indigenous entrepreneur, and I thought it was a really cool thing to just collaborate with. And I think I share a lot of the same struggles and the same successes and the same values as a lot of the participants in the program. You know, a lot of our entrepreneurs are, you know, just like really hardworking people, but they forget to take care of themselves. It's kind of like a common thing that we've been seeing. 8, 9. I'll take it.
You know, quite often I'm solo, I'm alone, or it feels like I'm alone. And working with this RC cohort was a chance I took on myself to trust that there's others out there as well and that they'll give me the feedback that I need. And that's what this cohort has been. It has been a reflection of how I was feeling. To be able to see that from other people has just been the biggest motivator. And to have that also be with an organization that is led by Indigenous people, run by Indigenous people, that come to these spaces with that intention has just been the biggest change in my business. It truly has shifted how I think about how I work and has empowered me to go to these communities or community partners with care that, an intention that I didn't know that I had within me to hold. This cohort has given me a space to be vulnerable. You know, it's given me a space to just be myself and not have to worry if I'm doing the right thing, because at every single turn, I realize I'm doing the right thing all along. I just haven't had the group of people to bounce these ideas off of, and it's just changed my perception. I mean, I'm so thankful for the cohort, truly.
When I came here, I met other people who had the same struggles and the same, almost kind of the same story, even though we're all in different chapters of our journey and different industries, but we all kind of have a connection of the same struggles. I'd never met people like me before. You know, I felt really isolated, so that was really special, and it helped me kind of bring my walls down so I could talk through some things. I was planning on just coasting through, worrying about the business stuff and kind of being quiet, and then there was a couple times where I'm like, whoa, you know, like you're being very open, and I'm just not that type of person. So yeah, kudos to you guys. You cracked a thick shell.
It definitely builds a camaraderie. So not only do I have the business owners in Sitka that I have known to love and, lean on when I have questions. Now I have business owners from all over Southeast Alaska that I can say, hey, remember in Resilience Circle when we were talking about this, do you remember? Like, what do you think? And it kind of puts you in the trenches with like a different group of people that you wouldn't have met otherwise.
This program, if it's scaled to other Indigenous populations, like that will be huge because, this current sociopolitical environment right now is valuing money and power, and if we have to live in two worlds, we need Indigenous entrepreneurs who are able to balance that and be able to create these healthy, thriving businesses that are also giving back to the community.
Cha da de he chahasya huksana ka Wushki tani yakiye hiaya Chasi tu ga kuka gura ihuji ha he